Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
signal I need to cut across 8 lane. None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
Gonna try and stop Smith. He drops down below, throws the block, up the racetrack, throws another block. McCann goes to the outside, 3 wide for the race lead and the win here in Daytona. Crosses the stripe and we're all reckoning. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's gonna win through the trial for the final time. And oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short's gonna win this. He does. Vincent Short wins. In a little more than 2 decades, Southern National Motorsports Park has earned a reputation of one of the premier short tracks in the Carolinas. Opened in 1993, the banked 0.4 of a mile speedway near Kenly, North Carolina, became part of the NASCAR Home Tracks program as host to the Wayland Southern Modified Tour in 1998. The same year, the track's signature Thanksgiving Classic was born. First known as the Autumn Classic, the 200-lap late model race has proven to be the springboard to careers of a number of NASCAR's successful drivers, including Scott Riggs and Denny Hamlin. Although the facility was closed after the 2008 season, Southern National reopened in 2012 and has played host to the Pro All-Star Series, American Speed Association, and the Hooters Pro Cup Series, and has resumed its place as a regular stop on the NASCAR Wayland Southern Modified Tour. Tonight, it's race number 5 and 6 of the IROC Challenger Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Southern National Motorsports Park. Races number 5 and 6 of the IROC Challenge Series. Twin 125 events here this evening, 125 laps apiece. 2 races, hence the twins. Practice and qualifying in the books here. Warm-up session just about complete. Couple minutes remain. Let's look at the race details. 79-degree ambient temp, 44% humidity, partly cloudy skies. 2-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers have a full fuel load here tonight at 100%. 2 sets of tires over the wall and a 125 lap race distance. Again, we do run stages in the series, and in the Twin 125s we have a stage break per se, but we don't actually stop to serve that stage break. The standalone events typically do have a caution flag that would come out for that. But to give you the details, the Twin 125s, lap 50 will be the stage. Lap 25 and lap 50 will be the stages. Again, no cautions to be thrown for them. They just happen. Again, if we have a standalone race, a 200-lapper, caution flags will be thrown, but not in this particular event tonight. Let's go trackside here, see who's got the best time to this point. No one's surprised. Kyle Turzak fastest with a 14:17. Brian Rose second quick, a 14:28. Troy Radford third quick. Fourth is the 26 of Tyler Hilton. Garrett Johnston fifth fast. Under a minute remains, and we'll jump right into the race session. Seconds left before the black and red flags drop on the warm-up, and we'll get right into our starting grid. Turzak and Rose going to finish 1-2 here in practice. Turzak about a tenth and a half quicker, just a tenth quicker than Brian Rose. A tenth plus 100th. With that, though, that concludes the warm-up session. Again, you see the fast times in warm-up. Turzak, Rose, Radford, Hilton, Johnston, and so on down the line. Field already starting to grid up, so let's just take a look at it. The starting grid for tonight's races, or at least race number 1 of the evening, race 5 on the season. Kyle Turzak on the pole position with a lap time of 14.130 seconds. Brian Rose outside pole, missed it by just over a tenth of a second. He'll start second. Clint Walker in the 02 with High Caliber Racing. He'll roll off from the third position. Troy Radford, the number 94. Falcon Motorsports machine will start P4. Starting in the 5th position, it's the 51 of Chris Wally. Brian McCann will start in P6. 7th goes to Mike Cook in the 00. Brandon Mefford, number 83, will start 8th. Jeff Clifton in the 1 will roll 9th. 10th goes to Josh Funkhauser. 11th starter Matt Kopp. 12th Garrett Johnston. 13th starter is Trevor Quick. 14th is Neil Quick. Nuke Quick will start in the 15th spot. Doug Wysocki 16th. Tyler Hilton 17th. Steve Durbin 18th. 19th starter is Josh Stewart. Adam Benefill in the 9. He'll start 20th. 21st is Larry Bruner. Zachary Cleek, the number 77, starts 22nd. Todd Cleek, the 45, will start 23rd. And last but not least, in the 12, starting 24th, is Timmy Schofield. It's your starting grid here for race number 1 of the evening here from Southern National, as we're just about ready to go. Green flag racing field entering turn 3. We'll see the green flag here in just a moment.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. Barney's waving it. We're underway from Southern National. Turzak out to the early lead over Brian Rose. Rose sits there in the 2nd spot unchallenged for now, but behind him, Clint Walker, Troy Radford doing battle. Radford to the inside. The 0-2 of Walker trying to hang on, gets a piece of the outside wall on corner exit. Radford gets clear and now opens the door for Chris Wally. Walker up the racetrack. Wally tucks back in behind. Wally just ahead of Brian McGann. Brian McCann's got some pace. He's seemingly a bit faster than Chris Wally, at least at this stage of the race. Keeps taking a peek to the inside. We'll see if he can stuff his nose down to the bottom, but gotta be careful Chris Wally doesn't slam the door a little late into that exchange. Take both drivers out of the equation. Back out front, Terzak with a couple of car lengths on the 89 of Brian Rose, who runs in the second position. Brian Rose, the owner of Track Bar Media, does all sorts of work for iRacing leagues and other businesses outside of iRacing. Digital creator. Still watching the battle with Chris Wally and Brian McCann. This is the battle for the 5th position. Again, Brian does seem to be a tick faster, but can't find a way around. That's the challenge to these places that we run these late model stocks at. The majority of them, pretty much one groove racetracks, unless you really spend the time to work in an extra lane. But even then, it's not a guarantee. One lane will certainly be dominant over the next. You got to find a great run or a good opening, or even force a mistake out of the lead driver if you want to take that position away. You know how fast Brian McCann is. Right now, he's either struggling or taking care of his stuff. Either way, sits in the 6th position behind Chris Wally. Brandon Mefford, though, in 7th. He's up 1 position, riding in behind Brian McCann. Brian McCann starting to get a little impatient. Continue to watch that 3 machine, the blue and yellow car in the middle of your frame, in behind the 51 of Chris Wally. Diving it down to the inside, hoping that Wally will just stay up the racetrack and give him some room, but right now that's just not the case. Terzak and Rose still your top 2. Radford runs 3rd. And it's Walker, Wally, and McCann where we watch this battle. It's turned into a 3-car battle between McCann, Mefford, and Wally. Wally keeping it a little bit low on the exit of turn 2 there. Slides up the racetrack, opens the door for McCann, but McCann tucks back in behind. Caution's out. Adam Benefiel in trouble, as are others. Looks like Joshua Stewart involved in that, as well as the 30th Steve Durbin. Let's take a look at the replay here to see really what happened. Benefiel on the bottom of the racetrack just slides up on exit, gets into the 4. Almost has it saved, but overcorrects it into the path of multiple drivers. Looks like the 45, then the 12 is Schofield. Todd Kleek got a big chunk of that, certainly more than he asked for. Just enough to flip it on its driver's door. So Radford actually makes a pit stop here from, I think it was about the 3rd position, as Walker jumps up into that 3rd spot. Radford making this pit stop, 10.6 seconds. I cannot imagine there was any tires taken during that exchange. We have found very often these Hoosier tires as they get hot, as they get worn, they almost get better. So likely just a fuel-only stop for Radford, trying to ensure he can make it all the way to the end. This first run going 20-some-odd laps before we get to caution. And now we are at lap 25, so this would indicate the stage end. This caution is not for the stage, per se. Just so happens to land during that exchange. Now, typically we would try to interview the stage winners during the caution. Again, in the Twin 125 events, the stage breaks do not have cautions. So unless the circumstances are just about perfect, it's hard to get the interviews in before we go to the green flag. Certainly don't want to distract the drivers, so we have to give them that opportunity to hit pit road, complete their pit service if they so choose to do so, and then try to pull them in the booth. There's just sometimes not enough time. Pace car is off, though. Green flag back in the air, and Turzak jumps on the loud pedal and gets away from Brian Rose. Rose tucks down to the bottom of the racetrack in front of Clint Walker, slams the door, maintains that second position. Battle in behind, Walker and Wally. Wally is still behind the O2. Thought he was alongside for a moment, but Brian McCann, he's got his own troubles and he's around. We got a wreck off turn number 2, it looks like. Wally just rolling backwards.
I don't know why you can't hear Earl. Can you hear me? Did not hear him call that caution. Need you to check your radio connections. Check the one on your headset, on your headboard actually, on your left-hand side and on your headrest. 1, 2, 3, loud and clear. You got a good copy? 10-4.
Well, let's take a look at it. We saw it happen live. Let's see if we can get a wider angle and get an idea of how this one got underway. A lot of drivers involved in this. To back it up here, late on the replay. Luckily, we were already rolling. Was just about to say is that it looked like McCann was to the inside of Chris Wally, but it looks like it was a 3-wide incident here as Wally goes up the racetrack. Mefford tries to fill the gap, goes up the gut between Brian McCann, but that door's closing. You see Wally turning down right now. And he's going to go across the nose of the 83 machine. Looks like Mefford tried to check up enough so that he got room to get in, but it was just too late. And then the chain reaction, 15 gets into the back of Mefford, Garrett Johnston, and then chain reaction crash after that. Neil Quick in it. Doug Wysocki. Mike Cook. Matt Kopp is in this. A lot of drivers getting caught out in this one. Second caution of the night. Well, Chris Wally was having a good start to this race. He's up in that top 5, holding off Brian McCann. Unfortunately now finds himself in the 23rd position, a lap down. So on the 1 to go here, green flag racing once again the next time by.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Turzak still the race leader. You see Neil Quick just up ahead of the 51 there, trying to stay at least on this current lap. Does find himself in the 23rd spot, 1 lap down. 2 laps down, that is. Same for Chris Wally in 22nd. Makes for a long night. Turzak's going to close the gap, going to put Neil Quick a lap down again, so now put Neil 3 laps down.
McCann and Clint Walker battling for a time. Oh, contact at 3, gets run into by Walker. Around he goes.
All right, but getting a couple laps by yourself there, how'd it feel?
Just the damage continues. Drivers just piling in here after the fact. Schofield trying to go through Days of Thunder style. Ryan McCann is the backwards man over here, just trying to get out of the way. I guess it's better when you're looking at him to try and get away that way. And he's going to back it into the fence and flip himself upside down. That might be the end of the night for the 3. Yellow flag is out right here. It's already out. Yellow flag's waving. Schofield thought he had a hole there, but unfortunately there wasn't one. Multiple drivers getting caught out in that. Now, watching it from the driver's eye camera on Tim Schofield, if he's not running with a spotter, I would understand that. Because you really can't see anything. So unless his spotter never called that yellow, I guess that's the saving grace there. I'd give him the benefit of the doubt there if he's not running with a spotter, or maybe he's got a technical difficulty. It's not calling out to cautions. That does happen as well. I know Timmy's better than that, so I don't know. There might be some extenuating circumstances there. I don't want to throw him under the bus too hard. But pace cars in pit road. Green is back in the air. Terzak with the jump once again. Jeff Clifton now alongside. Brian Rose for the second spot. Still not clear. Dives it down into 3 and 4. Has to lift. Keeping it on the bottom isn't so easy at speed. Rose battles back on the outside. Again, I gotta say, this number 1 car at Clifton, just a throwback to me. All I think about is Rick Mast, Skull Bandit colors. Neil Quick, the bottom of the racetrack. Engine expiring, it appears. His day is done. Rose still trying to battle back on the outside of the 1 of Clifton. Still hanging on the right side of that number 1 machine. I'll tell you, Terzak's loving this, though. He's watching this out his rearview mirror and is continuing to increase the gap. Clifton gets by now. Radford pressuring Rose for the 3rd position. Very close quarter battling off of turn number 4 between Rose and Radford. Rose gets the best of the 94, at least for the time being, but Troy gets a real good run down the backstretch into 3. Might switch things up, try things on the outside, go the long way around, but Rose slams the door closed. Radford's definitely got more pace than Brian right now. We saw this early on with Brian McCann and Chris Wally. McCann was tucked right behind the 51 machine, had the pace, just couldn't make the pass. And it seems that way. No, roughs him up. Radford gets into Brian Rose, and around he goes. Caution comes out. Kind of thought it would only be a matter of time, but lap 56, I thought maybe he'd get the benefit of the doubt here. We're not near the end of this thing yet. Not even halfway for that matter, and round Brian goes off of 4. Well, let's take a look at it once again. My opinion in watching that, certainly intended to make some contact with Brian Rose. I don't think the end result was planned. I think he was shooting for just a bit of a bump and run here to shoot Rose up the racetrack and take advantage. Unfortunately, Brian Rose ends up facing the wrong direction. On board here, we'll go full speed with Troy Radford. Listening to the throttle on Radford's car, I don't think he was even back to the gas yet. He was right on the back bumper of Brian Rose, and it could have just been a matter of Rose lifting off the brake pedal a hair sooner than Radford. Tough to say for sure without being in the mind of the 94, but nonetheless. So it's Terzak, Clifton, Funkhauser, your top 3. Those drivers have not made a pit stop to this point. Remember, Troy Radford did pit very early on, and it looks like Radford's going to go to the back here. Radford either taking responsibility for that incident or the officials are pointing at him as responsible for it. Nonetheless, looks like Radford's going to go to the back. Maybe not the complete back. I don't know. He's 11th right now. They're going to wave off the restart because, again, clearly drivers still trying to get lined out, especially if they're going to administer a penalty to the 94. We got Tom Janikowski in the chat, the only one so far. Thanks for jumping in, Tom. I can't talk tonight, apparently. But either way, glad you're here. Thanks for checking in. Keep in mind, guys, stream chat is open on both platforms, IROC TV and HBR TV.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Terzak ahead of Jeff Clifton, Josh Funkhauser 3rd, Doug Wysocki 4th, Steve Durbin running in the 5th position. Biggest mover on the day so far is the 30 of Durbin. He's up 13 spots. Started 18th, running within the top 5 as he's trying to take 4th from Doug Wysocki. He's got to be careful though. Mefford looking around the outside. The 83's got a big run, takes that position almost with ease. We got Eddie Rose in the stream chat, says the Rose family is watching. Thanks for checking in, Eddie. Feel free to throw in some trivia if you've got any. 67 laps down of 125, past halfway here from Southern National. We're going to take an opportunity here, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Caution's out. All right, buddy, you had a couple laps by yourself there. How'd it feel? Flag.
Back at Southern National, 79 laps in, back underway. You saw the caution during the side-by-side between Adam Benefiel and Cleek. Benefiel might be out of this one. Cleek continues on. Durzak once again in command of this race, 80 laps down of 125. He's led every lap to this point. Funkhauser running in the third spot. Bradford up to fourth. Bradford with Brandon Mefford to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to tuck back in behind, though. Garrett Johnston in the 15, giving chase. And caution's out again. Looks like Matt Kopp possibly in this one. Zachary Cleek as well. Chris Wally coming in late. Don't know if he made any contact. Cleek stuck there at the end of pit road trying to get righted. Starts up ahead with the 02 and the 84. Clint Walker, Matt Kopp. And it looks like the 77's incident here is not related. He just gets to the bottom of the racetrack. A lot of guys will use that low side to try and get the car to rotate. It rotated all right, a little more than he bargained for. It gets turned around just ahead of pit wall. Chris Wally, I don't know if he was trying to avoid the 77 or not, but nevertheless, lazy spin, slide, whatever you want to call it, avoids contact with the 77. Let's get a better look at the actual cause of this initial contact here. The 02, tough to say if he came up or the 84 came down. They'll probably analyze that post-race, but nevertheless, both drivers involved in an incident while the 77 has his own problems. Get everybody on the same page as far as what to expect throughout this race. Short track races quite often end up becoming green-white checkered situations. If it comes to that, we do have 3 that we can try. 3 attempts, and then we call it a night. Or at least call it a race, because we got one more race after this. Again, twin 125s this evening. You get an extra 50 laps of action when we run these twin 125s. We got Shane Haas in the stream chat. Shane coming over from Noble Racing saying, "What's up, Steve?" Shane, thanks for checking in. Appreciate that. Pace car is in. Green flag back in the air. Turzak with a heck of a restart. Jeff Clifton does his best, maintains that second position. Funkhauser third. Battle for fourth. Mike Cook, Troy Radford. Radford, the number 94, the black and orange machine, bottom of the racetrack. Almost clear in 3 and 4. Now he's clear on exit after a bit of a wiggle from Mike Cook. 15 Garrett Johnston now closing in on the 00 as they work on a turn number 2 down the back straightaway. The 84 Matt Kopp in the mix as well. Brandon Mefford kind of stuck there. Four-car battle for position. Right now, Matt Kopp has the 5th spot. Mike Cook 6th, 7th, Mefford, Garrett Johnston 8th. Good battle for position. Mefford, the number 83. Still, I have to say, the best-looking car in the field. It's funny to say that because they're all the same paint scheme. It's just the color combination that I really like out of this machine. Plus, I think it's a Firebird. No, it's a Camaro. It would look good as a Firebird. Nevertheless, Mefford running in the 6th position, started 8th here this evening. Turzak still out in front. He's led every lap. Wysocki back in the 9th position. Underneath Trevor Quick. Trevor's not on the lead lap presently. Closing into the home stretch here. It's lap 98 of 125. Out front's Turzak, then Troy Radford. This is the closest we've seen Troy to the front of the field this evening. About half the distance of the front stretch away from that top spot. Kyle Turzak running some good laps, but the last time by, Radford and Turzak, identical laps, 14.56 seconds. Turzak might just be out there taking care of his stuff, but Radford can run that line too. We just kind of watch the 051 to see what he's doing, maybe learn from him. Turzak, even Radford, looks like they're scraping the outside wall before they turn down into turn 1. Still still the battling continuing outside here in the top 5, maybe even 6th and 7th. Brandon Mefford up into that 5th spot, gets around the 84 of Matt Kopp. Trying to do something with Funkhauser, drives it way deep down into the corner, roughs him up a little bit, uses that right side just slightly. 8 tires stick better than 4. Still not clear though. Mefford's gonna have to drive it in deep once again. Funkhauser using the outside line to carry some extra speed off the corner. Mefford finally clear up into the 4th position. Funkhauser back to P5, but now he's got to worry about Matt Kopp. Matt Kopp's got company in Garrett Johnston. Johnston real loose. Great save off turn number 2 by the 15. He was attacking Matt Kopp for that 6th position, but unfortunately it almost cost him. So back to P7 goes the 15 machine. Mike Cook starting to close in. Interesting to note, Brian McCann, we thought he was out of this, but he is still out on the racetrack. Running 19th. Chances of winning this one out the window, but we've got another one coming up immediately following this. Even though he's 4 laps down, still can benefit from the seat time, turning some laps around Southern National. Granted, we're under the sunlight right now. Race number 2 will be completely different conditions as the sun will have set. Track time's track time. Johnston finally back alongside the 84 of Matt Kopp. Kopp scrapes the wall. Mike Cook gets into the back bumper of the 84. Everybody continues on, but Johnston powering back towards the front, closing in half a car length off the back bumper of the 81 of Josh Funkhauser. Maybe a little contact mid-corner. Johnston, he's got some pace right now, and he wants to get up towards the front, see if he can contend. Jeff Clifton back into the 4th position. Oh, a little contact. Garrett Johnston stuck his nose in again, almost spun himself. We saw that happen a handful, maybe 10 laps ago with that same driver. Manages to save it both times, continues on and back on the attack, trying to take that 5th position away. Johnston certainly got better drive off. Really closes the gap from the apex to exit. Johnston now working the outside, back to the gas a little bit sooner. Powers alongside Funkhauser, still not quite clear. Might have him off a 2 here. And there he is, finally gets clear of the 81, now crosses over, goes to the inside on the 1 of Clifton. Garrett Johnston on a tear here with 9 laps to go. Back up front, Kyle Turzak continues to just log laps. 7 laps remaining here from Southern National. It's been stellar to this point. Every lap belongs to the 051. Turzak finally starting to try and work through some lap traffic. Trevor Quick and the 0-2 of Clint Walker. Quick just yields to the leader, lets him go on by. Less than 5 laps to go. 3 laps remain from Southern National. Turzak trying to make it a perfect night. Bradford still over a second back with 2 laps remaining. Some contact. The 44 keeps it straight. White flag. Thought we were going to get a caution there, but no, the 44 continues on. Larry Bruner may lose another lap here or may not. We'll see if Turzak can get to him or get clear. He doesn't need to. He's got enough of an advantage, and off turn 4, Turzak is going to take the checkered flag. Race number 1 of the night belongs to the 051. Now remember, folks, the top 15 drivers finish this race. They will be inverted. In race number 2, the rest of the field, they will start based on their finishing positions in this event. Turzak parks it in victory lane here. He's going to get set here for the next race. Turzak in the waiting room here. We're going to pull him right up. No break, no nothing. We're going to go right to the HBR TV booth with Kyle Turzak and Steve with HBR TV. Kyle, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, congratulations, man. Once again, to no one's surprise, in victory lane. Green to checkered flag led every lap, at least in this first race. Walk us through this strategy, and is there anything you might change for race number 2 with this invert coming?
Honestly, I have no idea. This race, I just... Since I started on pole, I mean, basically, if you start on pole here, you just gotta keep in the clean air, and that's what we did there. And a whole bunch of people pitted, and I feel like that's short of a race with 125 laps. I don't think you need to do that. So I just saved my stuff when I was in clean air, and when everyone pitted, I just capitalized and went.
So let's talk about clean air. We saw a lot of guys actually taking an opportunity to the outside. If they can get alongside a guy on the high line, they were some cases able to make the pass. I know you didn't really get a whole lot of challengers, but does that make sense? Do you see a lot of guys able to build enough of a run to get those passes done on the high side?
For sure, this banking there's a lot of banking here. So, clean air is definitely a big part here, and I think the outside will work if you know how to run it and when the time is right.
All right, Kyle. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in race 2.
Thank you.
It's Kyle Turzak, your race winner here in race number 1. Brandon Mefford is available. He's our 3rd place finisher. We'll go to the 83 next. Brandon Mefford, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
I got you, Steve.
Brandon, congratulations, man. A solid run, an aggressive run, but still a good run, finishing 3rd in this first race. Walk us through your stance as far as how this race unfolded in race 1 and how it might change in race number 2.
I think for the most part, we got some green flag laps in tonight. Biggest problem we have is, when there was a caution, it's hard to see around these tight corners, and guys are just running through one another and tearing up cars, destroying them, and then I don't believe it's on purpose or anything, but it's killing these races. So, really great race. I think overall we got more green flag laps in this one than we've had so far this season. So I think that's something to be proud of.
I mean, every single race that we've covered here in IROC in this season with these short tracks, they've gotten better and better and better. There's promise. We're not that deep into the season. It's only going to get better. So you're absolutely right. Sometimes these little bull rings, they're very difficult, especially with the radius of these corners. We saw it with Timmy Schofield early on. We rode on board with him. He couldn't see anything, but I don't know if his spotter wasn't yelling out the cautions or what the case may be, but nevertheless, you're absolutely right. It's tough sometimes. You just can't see what's unfolding, and unfortunately, it wads up a lot of cars.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a product of this short track racing for sure.
With that said, rolling into race number 2, any adjustments that you or really anybody else out there can make to try and improve the show?
I just think I think it's kind of going to be what we have this season. It's really hard to pass in these cars. You got to take advantage of everything that you get. I think guys are starting to give and take a little bit, so maybe it's going to be a little bit better. But I think for the most part, this bumping and banging is going to happen. Just a product of the racing.
Well, it's been decent racing, I got to say here. Usually race 1 tends to be a little hectic. Race 2 gets a little bit better, and we'll look forward to it here in just a little bit. So if anybody's still watching, stay with us. We've got another race coming up. Brandon, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in the next race.
Thanks, Steve.
Brandon Mefford, your third-place finisher. Haven't heard from Troy Radford yet. Don't know if we necessarily will. I think this is only our second or third attempt here at these doubleheaders, but it does require us to jump out and jump into another session, but it's all seamless. So stay with us. There's going to be a break. We won't go anywhere. We'll stay live here at the channel, and when we come back, it'll be under the lights. It'll be dark. Race number 2 coming up. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
gonna try and stop Smith. He drops down below, throws the block, up the racetrack, throws another block. McCann goes to the outside, 3 wide for the race lead in the win here at Daytona. Crosses the stripe and we're all reckoning. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's gonna win through the trial for the final time. And oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short's gonna win this. He does. Vincent Short wins. Just about 2 minutes remain in the warm-up session. We'll take a look at the best times. Terzak with a 13.94. Troy Radford a half-tenth shy of that, 14.01. Then Mefford an 0.06. McCann with an 0.9 and Neil Quick with a 14.12. Quick and McCann having a terrible race number 1, but took advantage, continued to turn laps, tried to learn something in that exchange. See if that helps him out here. It seems to be a positive thus far. And it's kind of hard to say exactly what the reasoning is for it, but it could just be the fact we're under the lights now instead of the hot sun. It certainly has changed things here at the track. Take a look at the race details coming into tonight. Again, another 125 lap race. Track temp a bit cooler though at 84 degrees, 78 degree air temperature, 45% humidity, and partly cloudy, and about 2 miles per hour is the breeze. 100% fuel load and 2 sets of tires available over the wall. But again, as Kyle Terzak mentioned in his winner's interview, he didn't make a pit stop at all. Never came down pit road. 100% fuel should be more than enough to make it to the end. With a shortened race distance at 125 laps versus 200. I don't think you're going to see these guys, a lot of these guys may opt not to pit. I know only a handful did in that first race, but these guys are smart, and they are. They've got some good racecraft. They pay attention. Might see a lot more drivers opting not to pit this race. So that's it. The warm-up is in the books. It's Terzak and Radford, your fast top 2. But with that, let's get into our starting grid for tonight's race. Again, the top 15 finishers from the race number 1 get inverted, so that's going to put the 34 of Doug Wysocki on the pole position. Interestingly enough, Terzak's going to start outside front row. I'm not sure why that is. It should have inverted the top 15, but Adam Benefill's 3rd, Matt Kopp 4th. Tim Schofield will start 5th. Todd Kleek rolls from the 6th spot. Joshua Stewart in the 7th position. Yeah, this is all screwy. Josh Stewart's actually lined up on the front row in the 03, but he's listed as P7. We'll give this a reload, see if it helps. There it is, fixed it. All right, let's try this again. Josh Stewart on pole, Larry Bruner 2nd, Tim Schofield 3rd, 4th, Steve Durbin 5th, Nuke Quick, Josh Funkhauser 6th, Matt Kopp will start 7th, Doug Wysocki will roll 8th, Brian Rose 9th, Mike Cook, the 00, will start 10th. Garrett Johnston in the 15 will start 11th. Brandon Mefford rolls from the 12th spot. 13th is Troy Radford. Kyle Terzak, 14th. 15th starter is Trevor Quick. 16th, Chris Wally. Clint Walker will roll from the 17th spot. 18th is Brian McCann. Zachary Cleek, 19th. Todd Cleek, 20th. 21st, Adam Benefil. Neil Quick, 22nd. Tyler Hilton will roll from the 23rd spot with Chris Mefford, the number 46, rolling off from the 24th position. It's your starting grid here for race number 2 as the field comes back to start finish to finish up pace lap number 1. It'll be green flag racing the next time by. This is where things get interesting. You got the fast guys just outside the top 10. The kind of fast guys at the front of the field. Again, lightning can strike anywhere for these guys. They're not just here to make it look pretty. They've got a shot at winning these things.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We're racing. Three wide through 1 and 2 already. Oh, trouble. The 94 Radford goes around.
Caution.
And the caution comes out. Radford got it righted, but not enough pace. But we got a bigger wreck here at the front stretch. Oh, we've got chaos here out front straightaway. Roadblock into 1. Well, that's not great to start off. So, 3 laps in now. Working our first caution. Tim Schofield there, already smoke pouring out the back of that machine. Not a good way to start off. Could be a short night for the 12. Well, we'll watch it here with Troy Radford. We'll go full speed here. We'll get a look what happened in the 94 here. It sent him around. I don't think he actually brought the caution out. We'll look at that in a minute. But you see Terzak go to the outside of Mefford. He made it 3 wide right off the get-go. Radford just got run over by Trevor Quick. Didn't even get a full spin out of it. Let's see if we can figure out this melee on the front stretch. Tim Schofield may have been in this much earlier than we thought. I know he did have a significant amount of damage. The 30 right hook Schofield right at start finish. Then everybody else just piles in. Garrett Johnston pirouetting down the front straightaway. Durbin backs down the racetrack. Even at slow speed, we're still having guys wreck. Schofield really helped out Johnston there, got him righted back on his wheels. Flag back in the air. Josh Stewart in command over Larry Bruner. Bruner slips up the racetrack. Terzak jumps to the middle. 3 wide off 2 once again. 8 laps in. Terzak going for second place. He started 14th. Didn't take long. Second spot now for Terzak as he hunts the 03 of Stewart. On board with the 03, Terzak to the inside. Stewart slips up the racetrack trying to hang with the 051, and Terzak takes the lead just as the yellow comes back
What you got
out.
going on out there, bud?
Todd Kleek, I think, was the one involved in this. Let's take a look. Watch the 45, the red and blue machine, middle of your screen. 3 wide again. Chris Wally jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. Left side's on the flat just a bit. He slides up the track a hair, and it sends the 45 up into Trevor Quick. Around he goes. Lackluster incident, but enough for another yellow. "12 laps in, 125. A couple of cautions to this point. Been awful quiet in the IROC TV chat, guys. Feel free. I monitor both chats, so if you want to say hi in IROC TV or HBR TV, either one is available. It's awfully quiet, really, on both sides. Haven't heard from anybody since Shane Haas. Be part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We allow it. Just keep it PG. We don't even need to agree on the topic. I know Brian McCann's usually good for at least one message while he's behind the wheel. Speaking of Brian McCann, he's up 11 spots. Or started 18th. So we get ready for yet another restart. Pace car is in. Green flag in the air. We're back racing at Southern National.
Caution's out.
And the caution's out again. Todd Kleek involved in this, as well as Troy Radford, Trevor Quick. Pace car just apparates right through everybody. 45 getting a piece of this again. So we were 3 wide again. This is the same issue. Hang on. Wrong wreck. That's better. So the 45 of Kleek down below. This wreck's happening up ahead of these guys. Trevor Quick, Troy Radford, Chris Wally, Steve Durbin. Looks like chain reaction here. It started off, it looks like, with Trevor Quick and Troy Radford. We'll get a better look here. It's already in motion. We'll back it up again. So Trevor Quick. Radford drives it a little deeper than Quick did. They make contact, and then it's chain reaction after that. Durbin gets on the binders. Chris Wally a little late on the brakes. He gets into the 30, then the 45 comes in. I don't think Kleek gets a piece of this until he tries to drive around everybody. So 20 laps in, 125, and Brian McCann has made his appearance in the HBR TV stream chat. He just said Steve. He didn't write a novel or anything. Still impressive since he's behind the wheel right now. Thanks for checking in, Brian. We always appreciate it. So as it stands right now, the top 16 drivers have yet to make a visit to pit road. That's not really surprising by any means, but there's multiple drivers that have. Granted, they've likely all been involved in one incident or another. Garrett Johnston, Steve Durbin, Chris Wally, Trevor Quick, Troy Radford, Todd Kleek, Josh Funkhauser, Tim Schofield. All making an appearance on pit lane. So we get ready for yet another restart. Kyle Terzak's going to lead him back to green. Terzak with a big jump, put some distance on the 03 of Stewart, about 3 car lengths. Cars pancaking the outside wall on exit of turn 4, but Ryan McCann on the charge again to the inside of Nuke Quick. Makes short work of the 4, crosses over in front, takes the 4th position as he continues his charge back towards the front of the field. Next on the list will be Brandon Mefford in the 83 machine. And the caution is out again. Trevor Quick and Josh Funkhauser may be involved. Funkhauser with a little bit of damage on his Camaro. Let's see what happened. Not even sure it was 100% the 81 involved here. See an issue yet. Trying to figure out what's put us under the caution flag again. Big wide shot here from the blimp. Yellow just comes out. I don't know if maybe Terzak got too big of a jump or if guys weren't caught up and they waved off the restart a little bit late. I'm not sure, but nobody went around there. We saw it from the blimp cam. No issue out on the racetrack. So nevertheless, we're going to get lined back up, try this again. Oh, stage. But, well, no, because they don't throw the caution for the stage. They're not supposed to, at least, in these 125ers. Double check the rule. Section 6.6a. The first stage will end as the leader completes lap 25 for the twin 125s, lap 50 for the 200 lap races. Oh, and a caution. Oh, the 200 lap races and a caution will be displayed. No caution will be thrown for the twin 125s, but a caution will be thrown for the 200 lap races. So I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody jumped the gun, but nonetheless, the caution came out. We're back to the green flag anyway, so it's ancient history. We're back racing. Lap 32, Terzak out in front. Mefford jumps into the second spot. Josh Stewart back to P3, and he's going to have to worry about Brian McCann, but Nuke Quick, he's got something to say about it. He's to the inside of the 3 off of turn number 4. McCann carrying that speed. And we got a caution again. Troy Radford may have been involved in this one again. just checked up a bit. Zachary Cleek, the guilty party it looks. Cleek in the 77, the black and silver machine up top. Oh, the 84 just takes evasive action to get off the 02 there, but goes a little too far, and then the chain reaction events unfold after that. But yes, just to give some more clarification here. I know I already read it, but even I was having a hard time understanding it. The first stage will end as the leader completes lap 25 for the twin 125s. Lap 50 for the 200 lappers, and a caution will be displayed. Second stage will end as the leader completes lap 65 for the twins, lap 110 for the 200 lappers. This is the important part. There will be no caution thrown for the twin 125 races, but a caution will be thrown for the 200 lappers. So yes, it was the stage, but shouldn't have been a yellow. Maybe debris. I'm going to go with debris. So we're going to line them back up here momentarily. In fact, we're lined up single file. Single file restart with consecutive cautions. We're back racing here from Southern National. Terzak on the jump. Brandon Mefford second. Brian McCann takes advantage of the restart, gets to the outside as Stewart gets that third position and continues. McCann certainly wants more. A little redemption from that first race this evening. Hey, Mefford's closing the gap on Terzak, though. Terzak did just run a very quick lap at 14.16, but Mefford was a 1.9. Interestingly enough, Brian McCann, 14.17, only a hundredth shy of the leader's pace. Terzak picks it up, though, runs a 14.11 this last time around. Field continues to chip away at the lap count. Let's give this an opportunity here. Let's try at least to go through the field the best that we can. Kyle Terzak, your race leader, again started 14th after the inversion. Terzak won race number 1. Every lap led for the 05-1, but that stat going away. Continues to lead, though. Still has a shot at the most laps led. At this rate, he's certainly got a chance at it. Brandon Mefford started 12th, running in that second position. He was very quick near the end of that first race. Might have something for Terzak before this one's out, but he's got to worry about Brian McCann. McCann started 18th. Big-time mover on the field right now, but McCann hounding the 83 for that second spot. May just have something for Terzak before this one is out. Josh Stewart started up towards the front here in this second race. He's running currently in 4th. Taking advantage of the good track position to get this thing started. Newt Quick started 5th, running 5th. That's all you can ask for in some nights. Duke doing a good job. Brian Rose started 9th position, outside front row in race number 1. He's up to P6. Clint Walker running in the 7th spot, started 17th. Clint having a strong run. Tyler Hilton, new add to the series. Tyler, he's having a great run. He started 23rd. He's up to 8th. Larry Bruner, the number 44, runs in the 9th position. Down a few spots, 7 to be exact. So we're going to change a position here for 10th. Mike Cook started 10th. Just takes back the 10th position from the 9 of Adam Benefield. Terzak now with an 8/10 of a second advantage over Brandon Mefford. That's not the battle to watch, but this is the second place battle between Brandon Mefford and Brian McCann. And we got Albert Anderson in the stream chat, says, let's go Terzak, keep digging. Way to go with the underdog, Albert. Still, we watch this battle in the second position between Brandon Mefford and Brian McCann. It's the 84 Matt Kopp goes down yet another lap. Some damage on that 84 machine, certainly not helping his cause. Mefford holding off, a little bit of contact from Brian McCann. McCann trying to drive it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Mefford shut the door very quickly. And caution is out. You see cars facing the wrong direction on the front stretch. Todd Kleek back to pit lane. I think he was involved in this. So is, I believe, Zachary Kleek. Let's get a look at it, see what happened. There you have it. Zachary and Todd Kleek both involved in this. Catching the tail end of it here. Let's back it up. Full speed here. Zach able to lock it down and keep it off the inside wall, but unfortunately it was at the expense of Todd. Todd just jumps right back to pit lane. Some drivers taking advantage of this caution to hit pit road. Saki, Josh Funkhauser, Mike Cook, Troy Radford. Radford's going to throw some tires on. Right side's only for the 94. He's down and away. It just goes to show how important track position really is at these smaller racetracks. Radford was a contender, top 3 all race long in that first race. Now he runs back in the 19th spot. Again, with the inversion to set the field in race number 2. He got stuck out in the back. He's been involved in more than one incident this evening, most of which not of his doing. Just past halfway here at Southern National. Mefford and Terzak going to take the restart. Looks like Terzak's going to take the outside here. That's a switch. His car is in. Barney with the yellow flag still in hand. They're going to go an extra lap here.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air once again. Terzak on the jump. They did eventually switch things up. Terzak was going to restart to the outside with that extra lap. Changed his mind. Jumps to the bottom. Takes the race lead back. Mefford runs second. McCann third. Stewart fourth. Newt Quick running in fifth. Mefford a car length off the back bumper of Terzak, unable to really close the gap. Terzak runs a 14.21. Mefford almost 0.2 shy. Mefford gets the right rear in the fence off turn number 4. McCann closes the gap again in 1 and 2. Exit of turn number 2. Still a car length, maybe half between the 3 and the 83. Top 3 drivers all within half a tenth of a second of each other that last time by. Oh, we got trouble in turn 4. Wysocki in the fence. Caution comes out yet again. Garrett Johnston down pit lane. I think he might have taken evasive action to avoid some more contact.
Right here, I'm sure.
We'll back things up here. So Mike Cook gets into Johnston. Trevor Quick, Troy Radford gets a piece of it again. Wysocki and Mike Cook up the racetrack. Funkhauser comes through like a bat out of hell, but doesn't hit anything, thankfully. Again, Brandon Mefford made comment in his interview about how difficult it is to see. The radius of these corners so tight. Albert Anderson, he makes it obvious. All right, so he says, come on, man, I have to root for Terzak. I know his dad, and he's from my hometown. All right. You're excused. I'll let it go. But yeah, way to go for the underdog. Albert, I don't care who you're cheering for. As long as you're here cheering, that's all that matters to me. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Terzak, certainly, he's lights out. He's won a bunch of races this season already. $50 laps to go from Southern National. It's Terzak, McCann, and Mefford through that exchange. Brian McCann got the spot from Mefford. We missed that while watching other battles. See if we can find this here. Here's the pass for the second position just before the yellow. McCann drove it deep down into the corner. Mefford went up the racetrack. Almost looks like Mefford may have let him go. Now, Mefford's got a lot of experience racing these things, whether it's late model stocks, cup cars, trucks. It doesn't seem to make much difference, but he's got a lot of experience. He's got good racecraft. He may have let the 3 go on by, knowing that he may have been a tick faster. It's just a guess. I don't know. But here we go. It's going to be McCann and Terzak on the restart. Terzak to the inside. Green flag back in the air. McCann times it well. Stays alongside the 51 down into turn number 1. The battle is on for the race lead. Wow, McCann never lifted off turn number 2, but he can't keep it alongside, and we got a crash again. Big time crash here down at turn number 3, it looks like. Oh, we're still wrecking. We're wrecking after the wreck. Wysocki's not too pleased about it, it seems. Drives up the backside of the O2. Let's take a gander at this one. Trevor Quick just coming up a little bit on the 9. It starts the chain reaction crash. Garrett Johnston involved again. Well, that was unfortunate, but the only good thing about the cautions is it sets us up for another restart, and that seems to be the most exciting part of the race. So it puts these guys side by side. We'll see if Brian McCann can time that jump once again, but we may be on a single file restart this time. We'll see. Eddie Rose in the stream chat again says, great broadcasting, Steve. You're FX1 bound. I think it's FS1 bound. That sounds too much like a real job, Eddie. I don't know if I want to do that. And honestly, I don't think I'm that great. So, I am no Mike Joy. And I certainly don't have a DW type in the booth now that Eric Dotson no longer jumps up here with us. Nevertheless, I can think of worse things to do. It's quite fun to sit here 4 or 5 nights a week, watch some great racing. Honest to God, these league races tend to be 10 times better than any official iRacing race you're going to watch. Do I miss racing? Of course I do. But I get a chance every now and again. Got to pay them bills. Let's try it again here. Pace car about to pull left down pit road. There it is. Green flag back in the air. Turzak with a big time jump this time. Caught him sleeping. Now Mefford back to the inside of Brian McCann for the second spot. Not quite clear. McCann did not get a great restart, but carrying that middle lane seems to have a lot more momentum. Gets back around Mefford. So McCann stays in the second spot. Brandon Mefford running third. Brian Rose finally cracking the top 5 here. That car a little worn, beaten, and battered, but still competitive. Remember, we started outside front row in race number 1. And caution out once again. Doug Wysocki involved yet another time.
Kind of talk me through what's going on again.
Watch the 34, the white and green on the bottom side. Funkhauser tries to go up the gut here between himself and the 84. Matt Kopp. A little bit of contact. Funkhauser turns into a ping pong ball and he goes to the bottom side. Clips the 34 Wysocki and around he goes. Puts us under caution once again. The more and more I look at this number 34 car, and I know it says RS12 Esports, of course the title sponsor of the series, but I think a Krispy Kreme logo would look great on that thing. Maybe I'm just hungry. Chris Wally running in the 13th position. Chris is up a few spots. So far having a much better night in race 2 than he did in race number 1. So pace car lights are out, so we're on the 1 to go with 30 laps to go. We'll have a restart with 29 laps remaining. Barring green-white checkers. Of course, we do have up to 3 opportunities if necessary. Pace car is in. Let's see if Turzak gets the jump. He does it once again, but a better restart for Brian McCann this time. Stays with the 051 through 1 and 2. Off turn 2, Turzak still clear. Caution out once again.
Good look at your gauges. Everything good?
Not sure what brought this one out. Don't see anybody facing the wrong way. It's like deja vu all over again. May have been a couple of slow cars exiting turn 2. Ah, there it is. Incident in the middle of 1 and 2. A couple of cars getting stopped. Tough part's going to be trying to figure out who is who there. is the 46 and the 51. Chris Mefford and Chris Wally coming together. Interestingly enough, iRacing threw the caution but did not indicate that either one of those drivers were involved in it. So we had to do a little research to figure it out. But yeah, Mefford on the binders into one, Wally on the brakes too, but not as much as the 46. Drives up the backside of Chris Mefford and around both drivers go. So 97 laps complete of 125. I hate to go to a break right now, but I'm going to go to an HBR TV side-by-side break. We haven't gotten one in this particular race. I've got to get at least one in. Stay with us. You won't miss the restart, even if we're in break. We'll be right back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Southern National Motorsports Park. Lap 112 has gone up on the board. Kyle Terzak still out in front and starting to gap Brian McCann. That gap, 1 second plus back to the 3. Brian McCann still having a very strong run. Starting in the 18th position, running P2. Terzak starting 14th up to that top spot. Didn't waste any time getting up there either. Further back in the field, the third place machine, the 83 of Brandon Mefford, trying to hold off Neil Quick for position. Brian Rose running in the 5th spot. Speaking of guys that have worked their way back through, Troy Radford running in P6. He's been involved in a bunch of incidents here tonight. Probably 2 or 3 different cautions that the 94 has been involved in, but he has not given up. He's battled back. He's inside the top 10 and looking for more. Turzak still out in front. The deficit back to the 3 of McCann has shrunk slightly. It's just over 9/10 of a second. 8 laps remain. I don't know if McCann's just got enough in the tank to get all the way back up there. But the caution is out again. Larry Bruner involved in this one. Oh, big time impact. Chris Wally just drives head on into the 44. That's going to set us up for one whale of a finish. Well, let's get a look at it here. Larry Bruner, the 44, the blue and yellow machine. Garrett Johnston and Mike Cook in behind. Cook was just about there, and Bruner comes down the racetrack. Gets crossed up. Chris Mefford gets around, but Benefield drives up the back of the 46. Oh, man, Chris Wally, big time hit. Sends the 44, Bruner, right up in the air. We'll go in car with Chris Wally at full speed. You see, you really cannot see. Brandon Mefford was not lying. I know we saw it early on with Tim Schofield, but by the time Wally had the 44 in his sight picture, nothing he could do. So 4 laps to go. Pace car lights still on. We may end up with a natural green-white checkered here. If we get the 1 to go this time by, then it goes 3. Advertised distance, of course, 125 laps. So lights are out of the pace car. So 3 laps to go. We're going to get the restart with 2 to go. So yes, this is a natural green-white checkered attempt. Okay, so this will not count towards our 3. If this finishes without another yellow, we'll still finish in regulation. Advertised distance of 125 laps. Though, if the caution comes out before the white, we're going to try it again. Pace car is in. Green flag in the air. Turzak with a good jump. Can way to the outside. Brandon Mefford trying to take the second spot away. Field through 3 and 4. Coming to the white flag. Final lap from Southern National. Turzak with the lead. We continue to watch the battle for the second spot. McCann and Brandon Mefford for P2. Turzak looking to sweep the evening off turn number 4 for the final time. Kyle Turzak takes the checkered flag. Kyle Turzak taking home yet another race win. We were worried about Aaron Smith coming to run this league, but now I think we've got to bring him back. It'd be fun to watch Aaron Smith and Kyle Turzak, because Kyle Turzak is just stacking up the race wins. Parks it in victory lane just like race number 1. The car looks clean. Brian McCann driving up the back. So race 2 in the books. We'll step aside, get a quick break out of the way, and we'll be back with our top 3 after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
He's going to try and stop Smith. He drops down below, throws the block, up the racetrack, throws another block. McCann goes to the outside, 3 wide for the race lead in the win here at Daytona. Crosses the stripe and we're all reckoning. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's going to win through the trial for the final time. And oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short's going to win this. He does. Vincent Short wins. Back at Southern National Motorsports Park, race number 2, race 5 and 6, essentially, of the IROC Challenge Series presented by RS12 Esports. In the books, Kyle Turzak, well, he won them both. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth once again for the winner's interview. Kyle Turzak and Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy?
Sir.
Kyle, congratulations. I know it hasn't been that long since we talked last, but you swept the races tonight, 5 and 6. Go to the 051. Man, walk us through the night. Did your strategies change at all from race number 1? It was about 2 laps before we saw you back in that top 3 from your 14th starting position.
Yeah, you know, those first laps there, I feel like that big wreck on the first lap, I think it was, really helped me right there. I don't know how I even got through that, to be honest with you. I thought I was done when I saw them all that carnage up in front. But, you know, I just stuck to the same game plan. You know, I got to the front really early. Sometimes it was very hairy, trying to get up to the front. But, you know, we got to the front, and then when we got up there, we just paced out our own speed, I guess you could say. And I had to just make sure I had to save that right front and go from there.
Clean air is certainly very important, even at these smaller tracks. Maybe it's just the clear view out the windshields. All you're dealing with is lap traffic at that point. But once you get through the field, what changes as far as your strategies, maybe even your driving style, between the difference of going through the field in traffic versus being out front?
Yeah, you know, these guys are all good group of guys to race against. You know, I'm learning off of them, and they're learning off of me. And some stuff I'm actually like surprised over them. Like, who has a clutch binded to the wheel button? Who does that? It's just genius to me. But you know, that's a learning curve for me because I'm racing against the NASCAR guys, and they're racing against me. So it's a learning curve for both of us, and it seems like they're getting faster every week. And you know, the driving style does change a little bit. You know, you have to like, let me think of the right word here. You have to just predict where everyone is going to be and what to do in that moment, because these guys are just, like I said, they're a good group of guys, and when you get behind them, they have different driver styles, and you just have to get used to it.
So with that said, we roll into Bristol Motor Speedway next week. Certainly going to be a very different driving style compared to Southern National. High banked, half mile. I've got half a mind to think that you guys might be, if not wide open, close to wide open around that place. Have you gotten any laps in this late model stock at Bristol?
Yeah, officials went there a couple times, and with the open setup, we were barely lifting and getting straight back to the throttle, and the top came in, but when it came in, this you can't pass, so it seems like you're gonna have to start up front there.
Well, we're looking forward to it. That's kind of been the trend this season, is start up front, finish up front. Kyle, congratulations on the race wins, 2 of them here this evening. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for streaming, all the league sponsors, Chris for putting this up, ZM7 Shop for everything they do, my family, whoever's watching, hello, back at home. Yeah.
All right, Kyle. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Bristol.
Thank you.
It's Kyle Turzak, your race winner here from Southern National. Next, we're going to talk to Brian McCann, your runner-up. Had a tough go of it in race number 1, out of it very early, but came back, put some laps in. Albeit maybe a live practice per se for Brian McCann, but it worked out for him here, a runner-up finish in the second race of the evening. Brian, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Steve.
Brian, congratulations, man. Good recovery, great way to come back from that first race. First of all, let's walk through that. Obviously, you had an incident on the track. You ended up on your lid, so you got the car fixed and went back out there to turn some laps. Was it more about trying to improve your finishing position for the qualifying order in race 2, or was it just a matter of trying to learn something to see if you can apply it later on?
No, that first race where I flipped over in reverse, that was quite embarrassing, first off. But no, after that, I was just turning laps, trying to get to that 15th position. That way, I could invert the lead on this one. That would have been real nice, but I only got to like 18th or something. So I had to start way back in the field on this one, and pretty much got lucky on this race. Dodged all the big wrecks. A couple of them happened in front of me, squeezed through, and then eventually got up to Brandon and then second place. But I didn't have anything for Kyle, man. Off those restarts, there was a couple times I was on the outside, but I just did not have the right front tire to try to pull him on the outside.
Well, the restart certainly made it interesting. Yeah, it seems like, though, you burned up your bad luck in race number 1, and it came back to help you here in this second race. Hopefully that carries on to Bristol Motor Speedway next week. We asked Kyle the same thing. Ironically enough, another one of our leagues is running these same cars at Bristol this coming Wednesday, so might be a good idea to watch some film to see how that one plays out. But my question for Kyle, and I'll ask you the same, was do you expect to be full throttle throughout this race next week, at least on fresh tires?
I haven't practiced. I would imagine just from filling this car on these other tracks here, it's probably going to be really close to wide open most of the time at Bristol. But my assumption is it's going to be right front limited. So, maybe it'll eventually wear out to where you'll have to lift a little.
Well, we'll have to see how that one plays out. Brian, again, a nice run here tonight, coming home in that second position. You guys got rid of Aaron Smith this season, but you brought another guy in that's just as fast. Maybe we should bring Aaron back and see what he can do with Kyle.
Yeah, man, that'd be some good racing, good Aaron in here. And yeah.
Brian McCann certainly not looking forward to that. If that ends up being the case, he doesn't want to have to deal with Aaron Smith. I don't think anybody else does either. But with that said, Brian, an awesome run here tonight. You certainly, I don't know, I think it's just a matter of time. You may have something for Kyle Turzak before this season is out. You're right there every single week, barring any bad luck. But, man, it's a strong run here in the second race. Great recovery. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I got one pass on him, so I still hold that one pretty high. One time I did it, so hopefully I can do it again.
You can do it once, you can do it again. It's like dodging a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Same thing.
Exactly.
Brian, congratulations, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
My family, you doing the broadcast, amazing broadcast. League admins for putting this show on, our sponsors that help out behind the scenes as well. Our race control, he's got work cut out for him. He's having to look at all those wrecks and everything, make quick decisions. Shout out to him. And everybody watching tonight, and the drivers coming out here every night to race. Thank you.
Certainly looking forward to next week. Brian, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck. Brian McCann, your runner-up here at Southern National. Next, we're going to pull Brandon Mefford up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our third-place finisher. Third, once again, I guess that's a good average finish for the night. Brandon Mefford, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
Brandon, congratulations once again. A solid top 3 finish in race number 2. If you want to talk about consistency, Brandon Mefford is your guy. Walk us through your race, Brandon. Did anything change from race 1 to 2 as far as your plan of attack?
I just stayed out of trouble there. Didn't get any EOL, so I got to work my way to the front there without burning the car up too much, and then a bunch of restarts there. We tried to make something happen on Kyle there, but he's just too good. But overall, a good race for us. We didn't really. I mean, like I said, we stayed out of trouble and kept the car in one piece. So that's a lot to speak for.
So again, a strong run in both races tonight for the 83. We look forward to Bristol Motor Speedway next week. Again, I think that's going to be a 200-lapper instead of twin 125s, but we've talked to Kyle, we've talked to Brian. The mindset is we could be close to wide open the whole way around, at least on fresh tires at Bristol Motor Speedway. How do you feel about that rolling into Thunder Valley next week?
Yeah, I mean, these cars are pretty well full throttle all the time, so I can't imagine there's going to be much off the throttle time other than trying to reserve that right front for later in the race. So I think it's going to be a fast, fun race.
Certainly looking forward to it, Brandon. Again, congratulations on 2 top 3 finishes here tonight. Who do you want to thank for helping you get there?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody at IROC that puts us on, Spartan and RS12, all those guys that put up money so we can do this whole deal. It's a great league to be in, and a great bunch of drivers, especially with this short track thing. Everybody's struggling to get a grasp on it, and then, it's a little rough out there, so thanks to all the drivers in the league. Thanks to you for the broadcast. Thanks to my teammates over at Charity Motorsports and everything that those guys do for me and what everybody does for each other. It's a great group to be a part of. And then thanks to my family for allowing me to do this on Monday nights and letting me get away from real life.
All right, Brandon. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Bristol.
Thanks, Steve.
It's Brandon Mefford, your third-place finisher once again here at Southern National. And I don't know. I think Brandon's almost trying to. I don't want to say he's making excuses, but he's downplaying the racing as far as these short tracks are concerned. Yes, there's been some chaos. Yes, there has been some caution fest races. Absolutely. But if you guys have watched every single race to this point, 6 races in, you can all see the improvement that this field has made over the course of the last 6 races. It's gotten better. The racing has been more aggressive, but more entertaining. There's been less incidents this race. The second race, at least tonight, was a little rough, but it's been better, and it's just going to keep getting better. I've been really excited and really impressed with the level of talent that this field has. So that's only going to get better as the season continues on. With that, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3 already: Kyle Turzak, Brian McCann, and Brandon Mefford. Neil Quick was 4th. Troy Radford came home in the 5th spot. Brian Rose missed that top 5, finishes 6th. Tyler Hilton was 7th. Josh Stewart was 8th. Nuke Quick finished in the 9th spot. Garrett Johnston was 10th. Chris Mefford 11th. Adam Benefill was in the 12th spot in that number 9. Steve Durbin finished 13th. Clint Walker was 14th. Chris Wally 15th. Zachary Cleek was 16th. Mike Cook comes home in the 17th spot. 18th was Larry Bruner. Doug Wysocki 19th. Josh Funkhauser finishes in the 20th spot. Matt Kopp 21st. Trevor Quick 22nd. Todd Cleek was 23rd. Timmy Schofield finishes 24th, 119 laps down out of this one very early for the 12. A tough break for old Timmy Schofield. That's going to wrap it up for us here at HBR TV. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you guys jumping in the stream chat, the few of you that did. Let's work on that, guys. Come on. Let's make this more fun. Let's chat it up. I've got both of them up here, HBR TV and IROC TV. I can talk to both of you guys. We can get you all involved in the broadcast. That's just a fun part of doing this. So feel free. Don't be shy. I don't bite unless you want me to. And even then, it's still kind of weird. But with that said, congratulations, Kyle Turzak, on the race win here. Race 5, race 6. Sweep in the evening in the 051. Thanks for watching, folks. Tune in next week. Same time, same channel, HBRTV1.com. Click the live tab, and you can find all the races there on that particular day. We'll see you next week at Bristol. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.